All right, let's talk Saints versus Jets. You know, you hear all the hot takes, all the chatter, but what do the numbers actually say? That's what we're going to do today. We're digging deep into the data to figure out who really has the edge in this one. Let's get right into it. So the big question is, right, can the stats really call a winner here? Well, it turns out the advanced analytics point to a couple of really key areas. Think of them as mismatches, where one team has a massive, and I mean massive, advantage. And honestly, these are the matchups that are probably going to decide the whole thing.
So when you break it all down, this game really boils down to two key matchups. First, we're going to look at the one that will pretty much define how this game is played, and then we'll get into the underdog's one slim chance to pull off a shocker.
All right, first up, the Saints' dominant force. So where is the biggest mismatch in this whole game? Well, the numbers are screaming it loud and clear. It's whenever the Saints offense steps on the field. This right here, this is what the analytics say will be the single most decisive part of the game.
And here it is, the main event, Saints offense versus the Jets defense. Look, on one side, you've got this super efficient, really well-balanced attack from New Orleans. And on the other, you've got a Jets defense that, let's be honest, has some major holes. This is it. This is the battle that's going to win or lose the game.
Okay, so to really get this, you got to look beyond the simple stuff like total yards. We're talking about advanced stats here, specifically DVOA and EPA. Now don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Just think of it like this. Getting 5 yards when you only need 2 for a first down is way more valuable than getting 5 yards when you need 10, right? Well, that's what these stats do. They measure the actual value of every single play, so we get a much truer sense of how good an offense really is.
And man, when you actually chart it out, whoa, the difference is it's stark. The Saints offense, it's up there with the best in the league. Super efficient. The Jets defense, not so much. They're struggling in that exact same area. And look, we're not talking about a small advantage here. This is a huge, fundamental difference between these two teams.
So, what's the bottom line here? It's that the Saints are balanced. They don't just have one trick. They can run, they can pass, which means they can basically pick and choose how they want to attack the Jets' weakest spots. The data is pretty clear. Their offense is built to control the pace of this game and, yeah, light up the scoreboard.
Okay, but hold on. No game is ever a sure thing, right? So let's play devil's advocate. If the Jets are going to shock everyone and win this thing, how could they possibly do it? Well, the numbers actually point to one very specific path. It's risky, but the reward could be huge.
Their only real shot hinges on two weird-sounding stats, CPOE and ADOT. CPOE just answers a simple question. Is your quarterback accurate, even on tough throws? And ADOT tells you how far down the field he likes to throw the ball, on average. When a QB is good at both, well, that means he's not afraid to go for the home run and he can actually connect.
So the game plan for a Jets upset isn't about grinding it out with long drives. No. It's about landing haymakers. They have to hit on those huge, explosive deep passes, the kind that can change the score in a single play. It's a total high-wire act for sure, but it's really the only path the numbers give them. But, and yeah, that's a but in all caps for a reason. There's one giant problem with that plan, one huge factor that stands right in their way. It's like the Saints' defense was built in a lab specifically to stop this one strategy. And that problem is the Saints' defensive pressure rate. The number is just insane. A huge percentage of the time a QB drops back to throw against them, he's getting harassed. We're talking hurries, hits, sacks, you name it. That's not just good, that's an absolutely elite level of disruption. And that's the whole issue, right? To hit those deep passes, what's the one thing a quarterback needs more than anything else? Time. You need time for your receivers to get downfield, time to plant your feet and make the throw. And that is the one thing the Saints defense is absolutely brilliant at taking away. So the Jets' only real hope runs smack into the Saints' biggest strength, a perfect counterpunch. All right, so we've laid it all out. We've got the huge mismatch that favors the Saints, and we've got the Jets' very narrow, very tough path to victory. Let's put it all together and see what the data is telling us. So if you follow the logic, it's pretty straightforward. Step 1, when the Saints have the ball, they have a massive advantage. We've established that. Step 2, the Jets' only real shot is a risky, deep ball strategy. And step 3, the Saints' defense is basically tailor-made to shut that exact strategy down. See? The numbers are telling a very consistent story here. So when you look at the tail of the tape, it's pretty stark. The Saints are relying on something consistent, something reliable, their super efficient offense. What are the Jets relying on? A long shot, a low probability gamble that the risky passing game can somehow cover for their big weaknesses on defense. The analytics here, they're not just leaning one way, they're pointing pretty decisively toward the Saints. So look, the data paints a really clear picture, and it's a picture that heavily favors the Saints. But you and I both know games aren't played on a spreadsheet. Anything can happen on any given Sunday, right? The numbers point one way, but the real question is, will the game follow the script? Or do the Jets have a surprise in them that the stats just can't see coming? We're going to find out.